welcome to my channel, or welcome back, loyal viewers. Soon I will post about my trip to France. Yes, I have a childhood friend who works for United, and France actually happened. I went to Paris with my husband for our 30-year anniversary. It's crazy. I will get to that later, but today, Drama Salad is back. It is Drama Salad Sunday. It is back, and it's been a few minutes. Forgive me if I'm rusty. The last time I was doing drama, Trisha Paytas was dancing and singing in her kitchen trying to be Britney Spears. Now, Britney Spears is singing and dancing in her kitchen trying to be Trisha Paytas. Not on anyone's bingo card. So let's get right into it. By now, unless you've been in a drama cave, you know that Gabby Hanna peeked her head out a few weeks ago. After years of just not being on the scene, leaving LA, selling all of her belongings, she found herself in Pennsylvania and is married. And she started this very religious podcast with her husband, a man who you might say is red flag blind. In her testimony, Gabby started her podcast talking about all of her old conflicts. You know, the litany of narcissistic abusers, as she calls them, the people who tried to end Gabby, the constant persecution of Gabby. The burning irony here is Gabby thinks all of these narcissistic people think only about her. She also doesn't seem to get, much less hide, that her assertions about people are in direct conflict with her claim to be all love and light. She went for Adam McIntyre, calling him brother, acting like she was just helping him, and then saying what a bad person he is. Like, in fact, directly, you're a bad person. That's affection. And as you can imagine, it didn't go over well. She did these videos naming names and forgiving people for everything she's ever done to them. And there was some back and forth with her stirring the pot and getting a few what the F responses from people who, as it turns out, don't really think that much about Gabby. Gabby came for Trisha Paytas, of course, and I think it really bothers Gabby that Trisha Paytas seems to have this redemption arc. I don't know if that's true for me, but I do think that having children changes people and everybody should get another chance. But I can tell you, here's a big difference between Gabby and Trisha Paytas. Trisha Paytas, who's been faking it till you make it, who's actually kind of starting to make it after faking it for so many years, right? She does not have the talent that Gabby has, in my opinion. Trisha Paytas is completely tone deaf. But performances aside, there's a big difference between these two people. You can't really get entertainment out of Gabby when she's just being vicious towards people. Trisha Paytas has a couple of qualities that I think really make people like her. Let me preface this by saying I do think she's a toxic person and I would not be friends with her. But she is embarrassment proof. And people find that endearing. A lot of people, especially young people, go through their lives fearing being embarrassed and how would they survive it. And then you have somebody like Trisha Paytas who is embarrassment proof. It's endearing. You want to be friends with someone like that. It's a mistake, but it does make you want to be friends with her. Also, I really appreciate not just her huge house with all of the tacky pink stuff in it. That's fun. I don't like to have too much stuff, but I love when other people have stuff. But she is a mother, and I did see her when she had her first baby. She picked it up. What was she, like a newborn in the car having donuts? With Trisha probably like stuffed donuts in the bottle. But she's such a foodie, and I really, in a way, I appreciate it. I know it's a bit of a train wreck. I saw her pick up the baby, and it had a completely full diaper and was fussing. And Trish is like, "Oh, what's wrong? Are you still hungry?" And the husband took the baby because it needed its diaper changed. I did not mean to get so off track. Let's get back to the salad. I kind of skipped to a side dish there of Trisha Paytas and her parenting. But for the most part, I just want to say that I think that these are some of the issues that Gabby Hanna has with Trisha Paytas. It is much easier to have a sympathetic reaction to Trisha Paytas, who acknowledges mental health struggles and seems to be trying, and is also nice to the waiter. You know, these things matter. Gabby Hanna has been vicious with people. She said that she's not jealous of anybody. She's like, I'm not jealous of these people. I don't want what you have. And I didn't know if she was talking about STDs again, but she doesn't want what anybody else has. Especially the herpes, which, by the way, has been proven nobody has. So after these back and forths, Gabby decided to step away. And I think that is the best idea, because a lot of people who think that they want fame and money to solve their problems, they find out that those things are not solutions. They actually exacerbate any problem that you have. They don't solve your problems, they can magnify them. You have to be happy with nothing, or you'll never be happy with everything. Gabby Hanna did talk about the past, but she seemed to be really more interested in talking about how she speaks directly to God and how she believes that ghosts are sending you numbers, speaking to you through numbers. She really wants to talk about the supernatural. I think in part she's looking for that religious coin, and she knows that that could have a following. Even, Scientology was started on a bet and has people who follow it and believe it. So she knows that there are people who will believe you, even though there will be 100 people who don't. If you get 1 out of 100 who believes you, well, there's 350 million Americans approximately. You could have quite a lucrative, big following with people who believe you. And she may believe what she's saying, but if you are a person of faith and you recognize that she's over the top, in fact, a church asked her to stop coming because she said she was talking directly to God. I guess they don't believe in miracles as much as they say, but they just outright said that that was kind of nonsense. And so that's what Gabby really wants to talk about. And she just used past conflicts, I think, as a springboard to what she really wants to talk about. But I once worked for a doctor's answering service, and Gabby talks a lot like the people who would call in and demand to speak to the doctor and demand their medications. And she just reminds me of that. I'm not saying that's what she does, but she reminds me of that. And I don't know what her problem is, but I do know that she has a problem, and I hope she gets the help that she needs. Michaela Nagaro is next. She's getting a divorce, or got a divorce. Hang on while I try to pretend I follow her and care. Yeah, no, didn't work. But this salad needed a tomato, and Michaela claims to get red as a tomato talking about her new love. I think she said that in the same breath as her divorce. It's confusing. Her viewers have whiplash, I know that, because some people thought she was all lovey-dovey. The timeline's kind of weird. Next thing you know, she's wearing a sexy and single sash in Las Vegas. I don't think you need to advertise there, but she was saying she was single, and it got some people confused, and then she's saying she divorced. And I just know she lied to her followers about wearing fake lashes. She over promotes things and is a little bit shady perhaps in what she sells. What else do you need to know about her after that? She also has a history of acting like her influencer job is just such difficult work. Michaela, you may indeed put in many hours doing what you do, but never forget you are a person of privilege. You do not scrub toilets at Motel 6 and have trouble keeping the lights on. Therefore, you should show a little class and stop telling everyone about the toils of your labor. When you live a life of luxury and wealth and tell people you work hard, even if you're right, you're going to be wrong. Get it? She really gets angry, Michaela does, when anyone suggests she isn't very important and hardworking. Listen, I work hard. I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I don't have to take that from yous preverts. This next one can get a little scary. Jeffree Star had an intruder. A young woman apparently hitchhiked for several days, going all the way to Jeffree Star's ranch in Wyoming. He looked out and saw this woman on his property, and rightfully so, he was freaked, as anyone would be. He got a weapon, he panicked and went and got a staff member because they were out taking care of the herd, and he got the utility cart. It's not a golf cart, but it's got the little thingy in the back like you see on farms. He drove up to her and started screaming, "Why are you here? What do you want?" And the woman was wearing scrubs from a mental institution, and in Jeffree's words, escaped. That part I'm waiting for confirmation on, because she may have been self-admitted, she may have been released, but she definitely was wearing the blue scrubs that patients wear in mental health facilities. Jeffree Star was genuinely terrified. Some people have suggested that this was a stunt for views. No way, in my opinion. He was genuinely freaking out and seeming to still be processing it. Fake events usually have far less detail and less confoundment. Think Jaclyn Hill not getting abducted. Okay, I would be freaked out with someone on my property too. But I also know that most people with mental health issues are more likely to be victims of violence than perpetrators, and I think that needs to be stated here. But understandably, that doesn't give Jeffree Star any comfort, he explained that he gets weird emails, he gets weird presents. He was already paranoid. He didn't know what the threat was. And according to Jeffree, she was not able to communicate clearly. Odd that she would get so many rides with no ability to speak, but I think that might come and go because apparently she was speaking to the police when they came. I don't want to scare Jeffree more, but she may have even been in a correctional facility because, I don't know if you know this, but they also use color-coded scrubs, but there are far more mental health patients in prisons than in mental health facilities. That's been on the decline since the 50s. So I don't know if she escaped is an accurate way to put it. She might have been released, but time will tell. Without getting too much more in depth about the system, prisons are starting to combine mental health treatment within their facilities. Could be the case. It varies from state to state, but the point is jails and prisons have many more mental health people by far than mental health hospitals. And obviously this woman was very ill, and it's likely she was off meds. Why do we know that? Because going off meds is a given with people who lack executive function. Somebody who's seriously ill, they just stop taking medication. They don't get a lot of medication. There are various reasons. Again, I'm getting into some logistics from past studies, but this woman really gave Jeffree a fright. When people buy Ring cameras, they don't expect to see the girl from the Ring on it. You don't want to mess with a high-strung, mean person like Jeffree, okay? You couldn't pick a worse person to stalk. He's already on edge. He doesn't have the warmth you're looking for. He has an arsenal in his castle, and he's not afraid to enforce the castle doctrine. He's training an attack yak as we speak, okay? He will, I'm sorry, I gotta get through this. He will kill you with bedazzled bullets and launch a line on it. It's the Jeffree Star, don't star shit, there won't be no shit, escapee palette. Because, and I'm not laughing at what happened. It's bad, but you know, I'm Irish, that's what we do. We joke at funerals. So don't think I don't have sympathy for how frightening that must have been, but I could just see him like, baby girl, you need to defend yourself. Okay. So please, if you leave comments, feel free to include your eyeshadow color for this palette. I've only thought of a few: Ashes to Ashes Gray, Attack Yak Yellow, Stand Your Grind Green, and just End You, which is a lovely shade of red. Ooh, I forgot how messy it is tossing a drama salad. Thank you so much for listening. Again, I'm rusty, but I'm going to work on it and come back with more. Please consider liking and subscribing. It's not just me thinking of me. It's just something nice you can do for yourself today. I'm thinking of you. Hausfrau out.